but quick spin-ups are possible along lines like this, also near Rehoboth as well. So we're going to continue to watch this little area where you see the reds and the greens touching, where you see winds going towards and away from the radar. So we're going to watch this, and if the National Weather Service does warn it, is that a tornado warning? Okay, so there is a tornado warning currently. Now, includes Houston County?
So, tornado warning, that's going to include Houston County, Mississippi, and Dothan. And I want you at this time, go ahead and get right back over to radar, show you how it's presenting. This is not populated onto our map yet, but I can tell you that there is rotation, and the rotation is now strong enough to warrant a tornado warning. I would suspect the polygon is going to be drawn like this when it comes out. So that's what your polygon may look like when it comes out. Jordan, Brian, anybody have a text on that tornado warning?
Yes, it's radar indicated near over Taylor or near Dothan, moving east at 35.
Okay, so there it is. Tornado warning now for Houston County, moving east 35 miles per hour. When is our expiration on this?
The expiration is currently at looking 5:30. Your mic is muted, Chad. Until 4:30 a.m.
Okay, so tornado warning for Houston County until 4:30 a.m. There is rotation that's about to approach Dothan. This may go just to the south of Dothan. If you're in Dothan proper, I want you at this time to move to your safe spot. Lowest level of the home, away from windows, protecting yourself, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This inflow notch south of Dothan, this is 231, I believe, going north into Dothan. We have rotation that is southwest of there, and you could see the inflow notch. We were telling you about this, in fact, just a couple of minutes before the tornado warning was issued. And Brian, I do see a flash flood warning. We'll get to that in just a second. I'm sure you'll update that for us in just a moment. But again, right now we do have a tornado warning. This includes Houston County. This includes Dothan. And the rotation itself may pass just to the south of Dothan. So there's the loop. Your tornado warning polygon includes Ashford. This includes Cottonwood. This includes Webb. The rotation itself is probably going to track south of Dothan near Ashford. If you're in this area, I want you in your safe spot right now, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We're going to go over to our velocity product, and there it is. A possible tornado now just to the north of Rehoboth. So there's your center of circulation just to the north of
your mic is off. Your mic is off right now. I'll
may need a battery change.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'll give you my mic for right now.
Okay. So we're going to need yeah, the battery is out here. It's blinking yellow. So switch you. Again, while we do the switch of mics, battery here is out on my microphone. A tornado warning that includes Houston County. This includes Dothan. South of Dothan, there is a possible tornado now. Radar indicator rotation, possible tornado that may be developing or already in progress. Rehoboth, south of Dothan. This includes Webb. This includes Dothan. We want you in the lowest level of your home, away from windows, putting yourself as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And the environment that we're in tonight is one where I don't think that we're going to have any big-time tornadoes. However, even a small, brief, weak tornado can and often does do damage. You can see how the rotation picked up really quickly, and it's pretty defined north of Rehoboth, southwest of Dothan. The tornado warning here does include Houston County. And Jordan, Brian, again, just want to get an update on the expiration of the tornado warning. So 4:30 a.m. Tornado warning for Houston County until 4:30 a.m. We're tracking the rotation. This is moving to the east. Here, we may need to pull out just a little bit. At about 40 to 45 miles per hour. The rotation is south of...
There's a correlation coefficient.
Okay, confirmed tornado on the ground. Tornado on the ground right now, south of Dothan. And if you're in Dothan, we want you in your safe spot. Approximate times of arrival into Ashford, 4:19, Gordon, 4:35. Tornado on the ground south of Dothan in Houston County. Tornado warning goes until 4:30 a.m. Let's go over to correlation coefficient. This is our debris detector that I want to get to. Okay, so it's a little tough to make out.
We're gonna see if that's confirmed. It looks like they reissued something. I'm gonna make sure it's confirmed.
So Jordan is saying it's possible that there may be some debris that's being lofted into the air from this storm. And the rotation south of Dothan is certainly strong enough where we can't rule out a tornado. In fact, that is why we have the tornado warning for Houston County until 4:30 a.m. Let's get down into street level.
What they've done is they've upped the severe thunderstorm warning for Houston County. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning for 70 miles per hour. Tornado correlation coefficient is just dirty.
Okay, so it's contaminated.
So it's not on the ground.
So possible tornado on the ground. We're waiting to see more
but
from
they're
our
not
correlation
seeing,
coefficient. At this time, it doesn't look like.
Yeah, they said they don't see a drop on their radar.
Okay.
So it might be a bad scan.
Okay, it could be contaminated. Jordan, let's see if we can't get you a microphone that's working. That way you can help us out a little bit. But the rotation now, here's Lakewood Estates. This is south of Lakewood Estates. Here's Parker Village. Again, if you're familiar with this area in Houston County, it's south of Dothan, north of Rehoboth. We have winds that are blowing towards and away from the radar site. That's your center of circulation and possible tornado. So I know this can be scary. There's a tornado warning in Dothan right now. The rotation is going to pass to the south of Dothan. We're tracking it right here. But I want you to move into your safe place immediately. We've been talking about where that is. At this time, this is radar indicated rotation that we're watching. And you can see it. There's the winds blowing towards and away from the radar, and then just north of Rehoboth and southwest of Dothan, this is your center of circulation and possible tornadoes. So that's where the rotation is. I want to zoom out just a little bit here for a second. We're going to go back over to our radar. Clearly still seeing an inflow notch south of Dothan. That's where the rotation is. Heavy amounts of rain, destructive winds coming into Dothan right now, as high as 70 miles per hour. Our tornado warning polygon includes Cottonwood. I can tell you the rotation is probably going to pass due north of Cottonwood. This also includes Ashford as well. If you're in Ashford, we're going to give you some lead time. And we're going to put a track on this. If you're in Ashford right now, I want you in your safe spot. So what I'm tracking is the area of rotation. It is possible that some of this activity with the rain and the wind may get to you first before the rotation. So Cowart's 412, Ashford by around 418, Gordon 432, Colquitt by around 5 a.m. at the top of the hour. And as Jordan was mentioning, away from the threat of a possible tornado coming into Dothan right now and into Houston County. Okay, so we now have, and again, that is 100% confirmed, Jordan? Okay, so tornado on the ground right now at the moment in Dothan proper, just south of Dothan, north of Rehoboth. Confirmed tornado on the ground. It's tracking to the east at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. That gives you some lead time if you're in Ashford and in Webb to move to your safe spot and stay there. bigger picture shows some destructive winds moving into Houston County as we speak, 70 miles per hour. So even if the center of rotation and the tornado that is on the ground right now doesn't pass over your location, we still have destructive winds as high as 70 miles per hour coming into Houston County. But we do have a tornado on the ground, and I want to get right to it, get back down to street level. There is a tornado on the ground between Rehoboth and Dothan. I'm going to show you.
And we're going to, and yeah, right there. And they said near Cottonwood. It says located near Cowards or near Cottonwood.
Okay, so it's
east
probably
at 40
going to be
miles
north
per
of
hour.
Cottonwood at this point. North of Cottonwood. And that is probably our TDS. Jordan, would you agree that that is likely our TDS, tornado debris signature?
Yes.
Okay, so confirmed tornado on the ground that is moving
East at 40.
East at 40 between Cowards and Cottonwood. So if you're in this area, I want you in your safe space absolutely right now. There is a tornado on the ground. We'll go back over to velocity, and you can see our yellow box, or rather purple box that's flashing. That is an indication that indeed we have a confirmed tornado on the ground in Houston County as we speak. So this includes Ashford. This barely clips Webb. This is going to go south of Webb. The rotation is going to pass between Cowards and Cottonwood. Our confirmed tornado, you can see it blinking, is going to pass between Cowards and Cottonwood. And if you know some communities in this area, here's Love Hill, here's Ashford. If you have friends or family that may be asleep, now is an excellent time to pick up the phone and call them. Let them know there is a confirmed tornado that is on the ground, is passing between Cowards and Cottonwood here in Houston County. So we'll go back over to radar. Clear inflow notch. And we're waiting for our radar to update. But clear inflow notch south of Dothan. That's tracking between Cottonwood and points north, including Cowards. There's Ashford in that confirmed tornado warning. And so at this time, if you're in this yellow or purple polygon, we want you in your safe space immediately.
So it looks like near Highway 53. Highway 53. You can zoom in just a little bit.
Okay.
Highway 53.
Yeah, we're going to get in tighter here.
Yes. It said TDS continues along Highway 53.
So this is 53 right here.
Yeah, so it looks like it's not, the radar's not updated.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing is if we can go ahead. It's possible the radar may have taken a hit from the storms earlier on, or it could be an internal problem, but let's see if we can't switch over to Panama City's radar. Okay, so generally kind of looking the same. Between Cottonwood and Cowards, we have a confirmed tornado on the ground. As we speak, tornado debris signature. I want you in your safe space immediately, lowest level of your home, away from windows. The tornado is passing right here. Here's 52. There we go. There's our update on radar. And you can certainly see the inflow notch. That's where we have warm, moist air that is breathing into the storm. And then the rotation right about here. So here's Cowards, here's 52, and we want you in your safe place immediately as the storm continues to track towards the east at 45. Confirmed tornado on the ground between Cowards and Cottonwood. Ashford is going to be up next. If you're in Ashford, please, we are asking you to move to your safe place immediately. Down the road, there's Gordon. It's going to move into that general vicinity. So tracking this, again, our confirmed tornado that's on the ground right now. It's moving towards the east. We'll pan out here just a little bit at about 45 miles per hour. There we go. So we'll say that this storm probably into between, let's say, between about 35 and 45 miles per hour is the movement. Webb by 414, Ashford 420. Gordon 435, Colquitt 510. There's another update on radar.
I think I see exactly where that tornado is at, near Ardilla. Ardilla.
Near Ardilla, tornado on the ground.
Yes. Can you mind if I zoom in just a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to go ahead and zoom in for just a second.
So I'm going to zoom in near Ardilla, right in between Ashford and Ardilla, just crossing Highway 53. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. I think this is where we're seeing that, and I'm going to show you the correlation coefficient right now. Now, let's see the debris. And we're seeing,
it is.
Yep, right over here, near Terry Crossroads, Highway 53. Also, this will continue. Terry Crossroads, Love Hill. If you know somebody who lives in Pansy, looks like it maybe moved a little bit further to the south. Let's look at our storm relative velocity. Yes, look, strengthening rotation. You can really see, looks like it has tracked a little bit further to the east-southeast, but you can see the winds coming towards and from the radar. Right here is where that rotation is at, and let's see that if that lines up with the possible debris signature. Really right here. So in this area, if you're in this area, I'm going to zoom in just to the north of Cottonwood, Love Hill, Terry Crossroads, East County Road 8, near Dupree. You need to get into your safe space. Now, it has taken the east-southeastern turn. It looks like we have gotten another scan. Hopefully, maybe this is in a rural area, so we can't rule out, but hopefully that that rotation has weakened. It looks like it's gotten tighter. It looks like it's getting tighter right here.
You know, nobody right now should be traveling along 84. The rotation is going to pass to the south of Gordon. Likely, we want you still in your safe spot. Cottonwood, you should be sheltering at this point. There's, again, Harmon, Ardilla, some communities in the path of this dangerous tornado that's on the ground right now that continues to move to the east at about 40 miles per hour. And Jordan, if we can, let's go back over to correlation coefficient, our debris tracker. And we may have lost the debris signature temporarily.
And it might be more in a rural area. Let's look at that rotation. Still fairly tight right here. Still tight right here. Maybe it's broadened out a little bit. I know seeing another alert go off. Is there anything from the National Weather Service?
So right now the National Weather Service is continuing the tornado warning at this point. Confirmed tornado was located near Cottonwood, moving east at 40 miles per hour. This is probably just a hair north of Cottonwood at this point. If you're in Cottonwood, we still want you sheltering. We want you in your safe place. Check out our debris tracker as we go through time. You can see an uptick, a drop in those colors. That's an indication of where we hope just trees are being lofted into the air, and our radar is picking up on that. So again, we have the tornado that is on the ground right now. Weather Service is saying just to the north of Cottonwood. This is passing south of Ashford. It's between Cottonwood and Ashford. I want to go back over to just radar and track where we think the rotation is going to be. So there's Gordon, there's Ardilla. This is south of Ardilla. This is more than likely just north of Cottonwood, where our tornado is, that is on the ground. We'll go back over to velocity. Yeah, there it is. And it may not be the tightest signature, but the Weather Service still just a moment ago confirming that there is indeed a tornado that is on the ground. I can say it's now east of Cottonwood, northeast of Cottonwood, south of Gordon, coming into locations south of Gordon. Notice the red and the green coming together. Winds blowing towards and away from the radar. That is exactly where we have rotation. So Harmon, if you're in the Harmon area, we need you in your safe spot right now. There's probably a tornado that is moving through your community or just to the south of your community. You know, some of these roadways that you see, here's East County Road 8, South County Road 81. This is going to be Landing Road. If any of these areas sound familiar to you, you absolutely need to be in your safe spot, or if you have friends or family in this area, we want you in your safe spot. So there's a rotation and confirmed tornado on the ground. It's tracking towards the east at about 40 miles per hour or so. You can see the reds and also the greens kind of coming together over Harmon. You can see that this is going to go north of Lucy and then also to the north of Crosby as well, maybe a hair north of Crosby. If you're in the community of Crosby, we want you in your safe spot immediately. And up next would be spots south of Gordon. And Jordan, if you just want to point out some roads here as well that may be in the possible area of impact. The text here is a little bit small, but there's Jakin, I believe.
Okay, US 84, Spring Hill Road, also, Spring Hill Road, also around Missoula, Turnpike Road, South Spring Hill Road, South County 85, and I'm gonna turn it on to get a better look on the radar on links one. I'm going to take a look at that.
So while you do that, we can see that there is tight rotation and a possible tornado at this time still on the ground. It's possible that it is still on the ground. That is going to be south of Gordon. If you're in Dothan, we can give you the all clear at this point from the threat of a tornado. Cottonwood, all clear from the threat of a tornado. Go ahead.
East County Road 8, South County Road 85, Barkside Road, also along south of Alega, and Safford Road as well. These are the areas as it's moving more to the east, southeast.
Okay, and still, pardon me, looking at the east-southeast movement about 40 to 45 miles per hour. This is going to be your rotation. There's 84. It looks like most of this passes south of 84, south of Gordon. We'll put this into motion. You can see the rotation. There it is, the tornado that is on the ground. And luckily, like Jordan pointed out a few moments ago, most of this is mainly in rural communities, but we have to remember that people still do indeed live there. And so that is something where if you know anybody in this area, give them a call. Hopefully they're listening to us, sheltering in place. This is something we don't want to mess around with. As far as we know, and we'll update you if anything changes, there is still a tornado on the ground south of 84, south of Gordon. This is east of Cottonwood, and it's tracking east at about 40 miles per hour. So let's do a fresh track, and we're going to track out where that rotation is. Coming up here between about 40 to 45 miles per hour into Colquitt, let's say 5 to 5:15, because we just got an update on radar. And we'll go in a little tighter. Okay, so one thing I'm observing is that possibly, perhaps, the rotation may be coming down a little bit. We did for a little while have a debris signature, a TDS, tornado debris signature. I think just by looking at this image and putting this into motion, we've lost that. Unfortunately, what we can tell you is that there was indeed a tornado on the ground. The Weather Service noted that. That's why this box is flashing in purple. We noted it with an uptick and a loss in color here on our debris tracker. We saw some bright colors that indicated to us that the tornado was on the ground. At this point, I would say there is the possibility, at least, that it may have lifted, just going back to our velocity tracks. It's not quite as tight, and Jordan pointed this out earlier. It's sort of been jogging. It went south of Dothan, just north of Cottonwood, and now it's shifting east, almost southeast, where the rotation is. So, again, I want to give you an even more up-to-date track. So here we go, tracking the rotation. We'll go east, southeast at about 40 to 45 approximate times of arrival into Iron City, 4:45, and Donaldsonville by around 4:41. So that's if the rotation holds itself together. I'm going to step off screen for just a moment and see if we have any updates from the National Weather Service chat, because I have a hard time believing at this point that there is still a tornado on the ground, just by the way the radar has presented in the past maybe 5 minutes. I think we've seen a little bit of a weakening trend. Also want to continue to call out some storm reports that we have out there. We're seeing reports of downed trees. We're seeing some large hail. We're also seeing reports of a downed tree off County Road 72 just outside Ayrton. So Jordan, absolutely an indication that whether or not that damage was caused by a tornado with straight line winds, we have issues ongoing out there tonight.
Yes, and I definitely agree with you. One thing that we did mention is that even though the possibility was there, that they were on both sides. But it can't not go you're there. That's exactly what happened. So continue to watch that over the next few minutes. So right now, that rotation has weakened. Look like it's broadened out.
It has.
Typical with these storms on ULCS. Sometimes they'll broaden out, give you a quick spin up, and then just weaken.
Yes, absolutely. And Jordan's going to work to get his mic reclipped and hopefully back on here in just a moment. But essentially what he was saying is, as we watch this storm track across Houston County, south of Dothan, just north of Cottonwood, and now west of Donaldsonville, there was definitely an uptick in the rotation. We saw a really tight couplet. The National Weather Service confirmed there's a tornado on the ground. We saw a TDS, tornado debris signature, that popped up. Now it looks like things have weakened a little bit. There is still certainly some broad rotation that is in here. And we can go in a little bit tighter. Check out the radar scans over the past several minutes. That storm, this storm, had a hook to it, which was telling me it was breathing in warm and moist air. It sort of lost that hook. It's also lost the presentation that suggests to us there is still a tornado on the ground. And I do think, indeed, we should hopefully have this part of the storm moving out of the warned area soon and get an update from the National Weather Service as to, what exactly this storm is doing, whether or not they're going to continue the tornado warning, extend the tornado warning a little bit further towards the east. But we don't want to forget about anybody. It got busy here for a moment. We had a tornado that was on the ground in Houston County, south of Dothan, north of Cottonwood, tracked east across portions of Houston County. Now we're maybe getting a little bit of a lull in the activity near Dothan, but we're not done yet, unfortunately. Check out what's happening towards the west. We have yet another line of intense thunderstorms, strong to severe thunderstorms, moving into the Florida Panhandle, western part of the Panhandle, Panama City, Mariana included in that severe thunderstorm warning, and maybe as far north as Dothan and Ozark. I think once you get further north, Barbara County into Pike County, this sort of area of thunderstorms, the next round, the next line, may not quite get to you. But that's sort of where we're focusing our attention on in the next little while. For right now, we're still tracking strong thunderstorms that continue to move across Wiregrass. The tornado warning, I'm very curious to see if we have an update on the tornado warning that is set to expire at 4:30 a.m., I believe. And if we do have the expiration time at 4:30, then from that point forward, we're going to shift over to the concerns with heavy rainfall, and then also talk more about that second line that is coming. So I want to get back over to velocity here for just a second. Again, that shows us which directions the winds are blowing, and also can show us where the rotation is. So here's velocity. And there certainly is still some broad rotation that is about to come into Donaldsonville. However, it doesn't present the way that it does, or did a little bit earlier on. There's going to be your broad rotation west of Donaldsonville, north of Malone, and we can probably see it as we put on the loop. Rotation was really tight coming across parts of Houston County, south of Dothan, north of Cottonwood, and now it's sort of lost that feature. So let's give some all clears from the threat of a tornado. I know we probably have some folks wondering about who is in the all clear and who still needs to shelter. All clear from the threat of a tornado in Dothan. All clear from the threat of a tornado in Cottonwood and Slocum. Jordan or Brian, do we have anything new from the Weather Service on our tornado warning?
Nothing new at the moment. If you scroll down.
Okay.
They haven't brought anything new at the moment, but I see some comments in the Facebook live mentioning how there's no power in certain areas near Cottonwood Highway.
Yeah.
And people are asking about Dothan. People are asking about Dothan. Is Dothan all clear? And most people they said no power on Cottonwood Highway. Yeah,
I think that we had a tornado that tracked north of Cottonwood. This is just a general estimate of where it tracked across southern Houston County. We were on the air tracking it for you. And our tornado warning should expire here in 3 minutes. I mean, we've lost almost all rotation with this, so a significant downtrend. All clear for Ashford from the threat of a tornado, all clear for Gordon from the threat of a tornado. So I want to kind of focus our attention away from what's happening with the rotating part of the storm that has weakened considerably and go back over to Dothan, where it looks like we have a flash flood warning that's in place. And I haven't read the text on this, but I can tell you that repeated rounds of heavy rainfall in Houston County and even into Dale County has resulted in likely what's been some hydrological issues taking place.